Hi YouTube, it's Vince Romano 26 here. I just thought it would be cool to give you guys a tip on buying vintage Christmas stuff. I've acquired a lot of vintage Christmas stuff throughout the non-seasonal time. And today I really thought it would be just a cool idea to show you guys what I've gathered over the time that I've been buying things. Some of the stuff you've seen in just some of my recent videos, but I thought I'd give you guys some tips on buying certain things. Okay, first things on the list that you never have seen because this was before I did hauls. These are 1970s Snowmen blow molds. Well, you can call the one on the left a snow woman because she looks feminine. These were purchased at, one was at a junk store, one was at a thrift store. The one on the left that looks like a woman was we paid 10 cents for because it was right after the Christmas season had ended, and the thrift store that we went to was doing like an 80% clearance on all Christmas stuff, and this was left over, and the price was 10 cents. This one was not marked at all, unfortunately, but judging by the look of it and the fact that my dad was with me, we were able to, he was able to tell me that he remembers seeing this particular mold as a kid growing up, and so he was definitely able to tell me that it was vintage. This next one over here is marked 1973, and my dad also remembered seeing this one as a child growing up, so it was easy to spot. I do like these old blow molds, there's something about them that I just really like. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the fact that it's older, and my grandparents saw it when they were older and their children were growing up and stuff like that. This one you saw a little during the summer. This was that ceramic angel that I bought. Unfortunately, one of the bulbs that was in one of the candle holders had gotten destroyed from me being kind of abusive at the flea markets, from my bag going all over the place when I was carrying it because it was heavy. Back in the 1970s, doing art projects with ceramic was a pretty popular thing. I have one more Christmas item that I was not able to take out because it's kind of buried in my closet, but it is a green ceramic Christmas tree that a lot of people do like to have. The reason I wanted to keep it was when we moved here to my grandparents' house after my grandma passed away of cancer. It was one thing that I didn't want to get rid of because it was my great aunt, and my great aunt died when I was about a year or two, and this was my grandmother's twin sister. And I never really got to get to know her, and I just heard she was real sweet and everything, and I just thought if I keep that of Aunt Jackie's, then kind of a way of reconnecting myself with her, even though she didn't really know me because I was only an infant when she died. But anyway, ceramics, if you see ceramics, definitely pick them up. And for those of you who didn't see the video of when I played this, I paid 50 cents for it. I'm kind of running out of space on here, so I'm going to kind of go quick with this. You guys just saw the light up candles, and you saw this little tea set and all the other lights, and you've seen all those blow molds over there from my other flea market hauls, and the Santa, the felt Santas, and the plates and the ornaments that I never showed you guys in a haul because this was before I did hauls. Anyway, tips for buying this Christmas stuff. It's important to buy what you like because you don't want to be stuck with something that you don't like. And some ways to know, or excuse me, some ways to be able to tell if what you're buying is vintage is to look on the bottom. This is a ceramic piece that I bought fairly recently. And I apologize for the glare. I just need to get the label on to show you guys what it says. Alright, if you guys can't read this, I apologize. Alright, this says, I'm terribly sorry, my camera's being kinda, it says Bryn's, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, made in Japan. A lot of the Christmas stuff in the 1940s and the 1950s was produced in Japan, mostly occupied Japan. So those are certain ways to be able to tell that the pieces you have are fairly old. This tea set you guys saw in one of my recent videos, I paid $5 for it. and it was all in good shape. And I remember seeing these when we were cleaning out my grandmother's Christmas things, because some of the stuff she had dated back to the 70s, but this set I believe is from the 1940s, judging by these cups, because I've only ever seen these cups before. So she had a couple of those, and they were older, but we had to sell them, unfortunately, but I didn't know I wanted them until I saw this set here. In other videos, you've seen all the Santa blow molds that I picked up that one time. Santa blow molds come in various sizes, shapes, and forms. These ones, I'm sorry, you can't see the other one. These ones were in really, really good condition from when I found them. And for those of you who did not see my haul video, I paid $2.50 a piece for these, and these were just wicked cool, and I was glad I found them at this flea market. Some of them are actually not marked, but a couple of them that I did find were marked with the Empire Plastics Corporation, and they did blow molds up to today. They still do them, but the ones that are older for Halloween and for Christmas are just the best ones. And this one over here, of all of them, was the most unusual to me, because it's bigger, and I saw it on eBay a couple times, and people, you know how people are on eBay, they think something's, just because it's older, it's worth anything, or it's worth a lot of money. But the thing is, you have to buy the stuff on the off season, and that's when you get it for cheap. And just, there's so much vintage Christmas stuff out there that it's not, I mean, it's worth something, but it's not worth a lot like people think they are. Anyway, of all those blow molds that I bought, this one was the most unusual, just because I've never seen such a big one. I also do want to give you guys a tip on some of this other stuff. You guys saw this in the same flea market haul about the blow molds. This is either a 1940s or 1950s velvet Santa. He doesn't move or anything, but he's just a really cool statue. And again, like I said in the haul video that I did this in, I saw these at antique shops for a long time, because I've been going into antique shops since I was an infant. And I just remember seeing these as I got older and older, and people wanted a fortune for them, and I wondered why. But the reason people ask so much for stuff like this at antique shops is because they overpay themselves, or they see something like this online and they see it sell for so much, and they just feel it's worth putting whatever price tag on it, thinking it'll sell. But unfortunately, it just sits and sits because people don't know what they're doing. But along with the blow molds, I paid $2.50 for this, along with a piece for the blow molds. And he was pretty cool, and he's exactly what I look for when I look for vintage, because they don't make Christmas stuff like this anymore. The only thing that kind of bothers me about buying the vintage holiday stuff is the fact that some of it's just never marked. So you don't know what the era is, but sometimes you can tell if this stuff is old. Another thing that's pretty popular when buying the vintage Christmas are the Plush Santas. I bought this Plush Santa back in, I think I bought him at the end of August for $3 offline. He did work at once, but I think because he was so well used and played with as back in the time, the musical function stopped working, so I had to just kind of say whatever, it's fine, as long as he's still in good condition and he's here and I'm taking care of him, he's fine. They made a bunch of Santa plushes back in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, and 60s. Some of the ones that people do want are the big store displays, but the problem is people think those are valuable because some of them have 7-Up and Coca-Cola written on them, and just because they're big, people don't buy them because on eBay it costs a fortune to ship them. So if you can get these kinds of Santas at flea markets and stuff like that for a decent price, I would highly suggest picking it up. However, the most valuable plush Santas that I've ever seen are the Rushton Coca-Cola Santas. He's holding a Coke bottle, and I mean, he's kind of creepy looking. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of these plush Santas from back in the day were kind of creepy looking, but I just like them because they're old and my grandparents grew up with them and that kind of thing. But the ones that are marked by the Coca-Cola company and are made by Rushton are usually the ones that will fetch the higher prices. And also, not just blow molds and the felt Santa that I showed you over here and this, but there are a lot of wind-up toys of Santa that are not... Oh, you know what? I apologize. Let me grab one more thing off of one of my antique shelves that I want to show you guys. Okay. One of the other items that I want to show you that, whether it has all the pieces to it or not, is not worth very much. This is either a 1940s or 1950s Korean-made tin wind-up Santa on a bicycle. This was found amongst the Christmas stuff that we cleaned out when my grandmother passed away. It doesn't have all the pieces. There's a flag that goes here, and on one of the handles to the bike were balloons, and this was not attached to the handlebars like it should. These are not valuable at all. I think this was one of those mass-produced, like, stocking stuffers from a dime store that were just way too common to ever be valuable. But if you don't pay a lot, well, I got this for free, but if you don't pay a lot for these, I think you will do fine if you put a decent price on it. Another thing to look for when you go out hunting for stuff at thrift stores and stuff like that are new old stock things. Like these I just showed you in a recent video that I did. These are new old stock 1967 Capri Creations Santa plates used at Christmas parties for the hors d'oeuvres like cheese and cookies and stuff like that. I like these because these just display well in their package, and they're brand new, never used, and these are 46 years old, which is even cooler, and the fact that they're still in their original box is even better. For those of you who want the original price that I paid for these, I paid 40 cents for these at this shop, because the Christmas season is not for months on end, like I've said before, and when the season's months away, they don't want it to sit around, so they just try to price it reasonably. Not that they don't price it reasonably during the season, but they want to get rid of it. So I got those for 40 cents. Another thing that seems to be really popular with the vintage collectors and the vintage users are the tree ornaments. These are not really the most desirable because they are just plain Christmas glass balls that you would put on the tree with your tinsel and with the all the other ornaments that you would have. The ones that people really look for are made in Poland and Germany and stuff like that because they were made of mercury glass. They were very decorative and very fragile pieces, I will say. And I've seen many of them at flea markets, and I really regret not picking some of them up, even though they're not really worth much. But I do kind of regret not picking them up because those can be very desirable, especially depending on the design and the features of those ornaments. For this box, I also bought these earlier this past summer, and I paid $1 for the box, which I think is a pretty decent price. One of them is broken, unfortunately, but it's in the original box. And I like the fact that it's in the original box because, you know, at antique shops I've seen people try to put one single ornament out of the entire box and try to sell it in their booth for like $1.50. Please. You can get this vintage stuff at estate sales for $1. Especially if it's not the Christmas season. Let me go over to the candles that I just showed you in one of the videos that I just recently did. You see all these lights that I bought over here just recently? These lights were so mass-produced in the 50s and 60s that they're not worth hardly anything, but I didn't pay much for the big ones or the single lights, so if you don't pay a lot for these lights, you'll do fine. Anyway, if there's any other things you feel I'm left out of this video, please let me know in the comments section. Thank you for watching.